Damien ruins horror movies.
What's up, everybody? It's time for another episode. Tonight we're going to be doing Friday the 13th, Part 6. But first, go ahead and take a second and subscribe if you haven't already, because I did the 5 before this. I'm not doing all of them. I'm doing all the way through. I'm doing 2 more. So we'll go through the synopsis, and then at the end we'll have the award. We'll have survival tips. And after watching this again, because I've seen all the Friday the 13th movies at some point. It's been a while since I've watched them all, because I bought the box set probably like 10 years ago or something like that. And so I watched all of them. The box set that I have only goes up to, it's the DVD set. It's like 1 through 8. And then later I ordered the box set that has like Jason Goes to Hell and Freddy vs. Jason and Jason X in it. So I own them all, and then I got the remake. Watching it this time, I'm carefully studying them all, and I've decided Part 6 right now is my favorite. It's ironic because originally, Part 6 is like what I saw when I was younger that made me not like Jason and think that the franchise was stupid. I was just like, this is dumb. So like everything I didn't like about it is what I like about it now. Because when I bought the box set and I watched like the first 4 or 5, I was like, you know what, these are actually pretty good and they're consistent. And they're not going too far away. It's like, it's not totally rinse and repeat, but it's not like reinventing the wheel either. And I've decided, here's my bold claim. My favorite, at least slasher franchise, is Friday the 13th. That being said, I like Nightmare on Elm Street, the original, more than the Jason movies. I like Halloween more than the Jason movies. But as a whole, as an entire franchise, I think as a whole, Friday the 13th, there's no bad movies in terms and I'm gonna have to go through and watch the Nightmare on Elm Streets again. But I don't know, like I could watch the Jason movies over and over again, like all of them. I could watch over and over again, even the ones that aren't good, and I like some more than others. But I think they're all good. It's weird. And they're all made fast. That's the even weirder part. I think they came out every year. Because like Halloween got weird. And like it would do a shitty one, then it'd do a good one, and it tried to stay there. And I am going to be doing the Halloween movies. I'm wearing a Halloween shirt right now. And if you like it, you can go to Gutter Garbs and order one for $28. Or you can go to like Fright Rags and buy it for about $28 plus shipping and handling. Or you can go to your nearest Walmart, which is where I got this, evil Walmart, and you can pay $7.92 plus tax, which is probably about what you'd be paying in shipping and handling. Sorry to shit on the little guy, but sometimes you gotta go corporate. Sorry. Sometimes it just makes sense to save $30. This movie takes place 1 year after the last movie. The last movie, I didn't mention it, I don't think, because I try and give a timeline, because the timeline kind of confusing in the Friday the 13th universe, just because Jason's age is weird. But now Tommy Jarvis's age is weird, because the first time we see Tommy Jarvis, he's Corey Feldman and he's 12. So this is part 6. Part 5 takes place 5 years after part 4, which would make Tommy Jarvis 17. Now, Tommy Jarvis, the guy playing him, does not look... I should have looked up how old that guy actually is, because I don't know how old he is. But he does not look like a 17-year-old. But, you know, that's how the 80s rolled, you know. It's like, we need a 17-year-old for this film. Great, I know this 28-year-old that would be perfect. Like, Ralph Macchio in The Karate Kid was like 27, I think. So now this one takes place a year after that. So Tommy's like 18. He's like legal. And I can kind of buy the vibe that everybody's supposed to be about that age. I'm just looking at the people in the movie and it's like, you guys 18? And it's weird because there's like movie 18 and then there's like when I leave my house and I see a 16-year-old driving a car, I'm like, why is that little kid driving that car? Tommy still needs closure from the whole Jason thing, even after the fake Jason. Because the last one. Was it Roy? Was that his name? Roy, who ended up being the killer in the last one? Roy was not Jason. So Tommy's like, instead of Tommy being relieved, like, oh, Jason is dead. That wasn't Jason killing people. It is kind of weird. Why did Jason just take the year off then? If he's still out there. If he's still on the loose. What, he come and he was going to kill people and he saw Roy doing it? He's like, oh, I'm covered. Got the summer off. Cool, I'm going to go chill. Going to go find my little shack that he never goes back to after like the third movie. So he escapes the Institute. I'm not sure, because he's like, I don't know, he just hangs out in the Institute. They don't really show it. He's in his truck. He has a truck. So I was like, well, you've been institutionalized. You're in this truck. And now you and your friend, because I don't think it was like a stolen truck. I think it was like, it's his truck. So I was like, why? You're an adult. You own a car, which means maybe you have a job or something, but you're stuck in this institution. And now you've escaped. You're with your friend. And his friend is Horseshack from Welcome Back, Kotter. For all you people my age and above, that show. Remember with John Travolta? It's Horseshack, the kid in class, when every time he knew the answer, he'd be like, ooh, 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 ooh. That guy cracked me up. But he's with Tommy Jarvis. He's a fellow inmate, and they go to the cemetery. They find Jason's grave. They dig it up. They open the casket. Jason's maggot-infested corpse is inside. Tommy has like this flashback anger, and he runs over and he grabs like, it's like part of the gate with like a long metal rod. He just rips it out, and then he just starts stabbing Jason, and he leaves it in him. And I swear it was not raining. There was no lightning. There was no thunder. I could be wrong, but it seemed like it was just a regular night. And as soon as he put the stake, the steel rod fence gate thing in Jason, I get channeled lightning. And lightning came down, and it just strikes the metal in Jason. And did you know that if you have a metal rod in you and lightning hits it and you're dead, and how dead you are, it'll bring you back to life? Because that's what it did. And they even brought Jason's mask along. It was almost like I didn't know any better. It's like, was your goal to bring Jason back to life? Because you did all the right things. You made lightning. You brought his gear. It's like all that's missing. You didn't bring him a machete to kill people with. Other than that, you're like, wow, we're gonna go kill Jason. So Jason gets up and kills Horseshack, and Tommy gets the fuck out of there. Little does Tommy know, Jason is now supernatural. And he heads to the sheriff. And the sheriff's like, I'm not buying into your bullshit, and locks him up. Which is kind of weird, because the sheriff seems to know all about Tommy Jarvis. So if Tommy has escaped the Institute, why didn't he, instead of putting him in a cell, why didn't he call the Institute and have them arrange for them to come pick Tommy up? You know, the same way they dropped him off at the place in the last movie. It says like, well, I'm going to put you in this cage. So next scene comes, and it's a couple. They got their little Ted Bundy mobile, a little VW Bug. I think it's the same color as Ted Bundy's. And they're driving, and they get lost, and they run into Jason. And Jason kills them. But it turns out they were the head counselor. They were going to be the new head counselors at the campsite. So a group of, it's a group of teens, 3 girls and a guy. Court, Megan, Sissy, and Paula. They head over to the sheriff's department, and they're like, hey, Darren and Elizabeth, that's the 2 people that got killed in the VW. Like, Darren and Elizabeth had never showed up. We don't know where they are. And we're kind of worried. Next, we have some paintballers. And the paintballers are there for one reason only. And the reason is to die. And to show off how much more supernatural and dangerous that Jason is. Because now he can rip arms off with before it was like he was a regular dude that was hard to kill. Now he's like, he can just rip off your arm. He has, cat-like reflexes. He can catch whiskey bottles and crush them in his hands. He can disappear and reappear, which he hasn't really done yet. I remember these movies having him disappearing. They always had that scene where it'd be like they're running from him. They look back and he's right behind them, and then they'd stop, they look back and he wouldn't be there anymore. And they'd be like, oh, what a relief. And then they'd look in front of him and he'd be right there. So far, I'm 6 movies deep. I haven't seen that. But God, that was like a staple for Jason. Must be part 7. They do that a lot. I can't wait to watch part 7. Every time I finish a Friday the 13th movie, I totally want to watch the next one. So, with the quickness, Jason kills all the paintballers. And unlike all the other Friday the 13th movie, this one actually has kids that attend. A lot of times they don't show up or whatever, but it's like teenagers. These are like actual kids. These are like, I don't know, 6th graders. And so that's kind of weird because you're like, uh-oh, there's a lot of kids there. And the main counselors are going, we know Jason's there. And there's been a lot of kills in a very small amount of time. There is a funny scene where it's showing like the nighttime and all the kids are going to sleep. And one of the kids has like this book resting on, like he just got done. He's like, he was reading it and then he's like, goes to sleep. But it's Jean-Paul Sartre. No exit. Like, nothing like a little light French philosophy before you go to sleep when you're, 10. And I actually laughed. I was like, what the hell? Because this movie, it's got lots of death. The kills are quick. And the cheese is all over, but it's so subtle that you almost have to double take it. You watch it and you're just kind of like, you know what? Oh, fuck. Like there's a speed limit sign that says like, it just says speeding and it has like question marks. And you're like, that is it. Huh? It's weird. There's cartoonish moments like slipped in, but the rest of the movie's not. I don't know. It's trip. You're watching it. It's like, the fuck. But there's also, I think I read that this is the first one that there's no nudity in. However, there's way more deaths. Like by like 30 minutes in, we got 10 deaths, which is a lot. Because this is also where it rearranges, and it's kind of more about Jason than it is. Before it was about the counselors. Now it's about Tommy and Jason. And everybody that gets in the way, that's beside the point. They're just there. They're just meat. So Tommy calls the sheriff, but the sheriff isn't there. And Megan is there. And Megan answers. And he's like, I need to talk to the sheriff. She's like, well, you can't talk to him. And she's like, wait a minute, is this Tommy? You're the guy locked up that I met earlier. Because Megan's kind of this, she's got like daddy issues. Like her mom died years ago. So all she has is her dad. But daddy's always working, doesn't have time for her. So yeah, Tommy's the perfect person for her to hook up with to piss off her dad. Because, that whole negative attention's better than no attention at all. So she instantly likes Tommy because she can sense the venom that her father feels for him. So she's like, what's up, Tommy? Tommy says, what's going on? She's like, well, that's not going to happen because he's looking for you because he thinks you're killing people to support your theory that Jason's a real thing, but I can come get you. And he's like, all right. So she goes and finds him, picks him up, they drive, and she's like in this flirty, like none of this shit's really happening. And he's like, dude, I'm on a mission. I got stuff to do. She's like, well, nobody drives my car. He's like, and they're driving. They hit a police barricade that her dad set up looking for Tommy. And so she avoids it by obviously like coming up to it and just turning around. Because it's not like there's a lot of cars in Forest Green. And so the cops radio each other and they're like, hey, this car, it was suspicious. It's not his truck, but this car just like came up and turned around, which is like if I come up to a police barricade, I'd probably do the same thing. It's not because I'm guilty of anything. I'd just be like, I'm not sitting for this shit. Like, how long am I supposed to sit here? It's like, are you gonna lift that fucking, tire popping strip up and let people pass every 15 minutes? Or are we just no? This is where we just live here now. What's going on? So she turns around and leaves. And, they talk to each other, and sheriff realizes like, that's my daughter's car. She probably has Tommy with her. And it's like, why? There's a leap. You just assume she's got Tommy with her because she turned around. She didn't want to deal with your bullshit. So the sheriff ends up catching them and taking them back to the station. Once again, Tommy is back in his little cage, and he gets a call hearing about Court, Megan's friend Court and Vicky, who were, making their little motorhome rock when they got killed, and so he's gonna go check it out. And Megan's like, "What?" And she's like, "Well, when did that happen?" And her dad's like, "Well, it just happened." It's like, "Well, Tommy's been with me for like the last 2 hours, so there's no way. Like, if they're dead, he didn't kill them because he's been with me the whole time." So her dad's like, "Yeah, all right, yeah, you're probably right. Well, tough shit, Tommy." Dad leaves to go check it out, and he leaves him with Rick. So Megan's just kind of there chilling. Rick's there making sure nothing happens, and Tommy's in his little cage thinking like, I need to get out of here because Jason's really out there. Like Tommy knows, and he's so frustrated because he can't tell anybody. I mean, he can tell them, but like they don't believe him or they don't care. They're just like nobody's taking it seriously. But since Megan likes Tommy, she's like, I'll play along. What do we got to do? And so they do a little ruse to trick Rick. And Rick goes over the cage. Megan takes his gun out, and she's like, freeze, or I'll blow your ass away. Somehow Rick believes that she'll kill him. Instead of like, give me my gun back. So Rick's like, hey, just don't do anything crazy. Come on. All right, okay. And then she unlocks the cell, and Rick and Tommy change spots, and now he's in the cell. Tommy and her are free. We're just kind of... I guess, like, for me, if I were Rick, I would have done the same thing, because it wouldn't have been like, it's not that I think that she would actually kill me. It's that I think she has so little experience with guns that it freaks me out that she's pointing at me, because the slightest, it's like, she could just shoot me, like, accidentally. So I was like, I'm not fucking around. So, all right, Rick, I give you a pass. You're not a pussy. You're not like, wow, you gave in really easy. What happens when a person who's actually trained is like, I get it. You don't want to get accidentally shot with your own gun. So Megan and Tommy are back in the car. Tommy still doesn't want her to go with him, because Tommy is not trying to get in a relationship. Like, Tommy's like, I have one focus. I want to kill Jason. That's been my focus for the last 6 years of my life. Getting rid of Jason. I'm not dating, but Megan insists on going with him. He says he needs some certain stuff. She comes up with the stuff. They go back to the campground. So they had changed the name to Forest Green because the town was trying to forget all the stuff that happened with Jason. So they changed the name to kind of separate themselves from it. That was a big problem with Tommy, because Tommy is like bringing the past up, and they're like, nope, we don't want to deal with that. That's not real. That's taken care of. That's over. Which is kind of weird, because it's only been like 6 years. So it's like, if you're over the age of 6, you probably know it, unless it's touristy enough. I don't know. It kind of makes sense, but at the same time, it's like, huh? They have to go to the campground because somehow Tommy knows that the only way to kill Jason is to get him back in the lake and drown him. Which is weird, because Tommy also knew that he had to dig him up and kill him that way. Hey, Tommy, maybe if you had just left well enough alone, you wouldn't be in this situation. Maybe secretly you like Jason. It gives you a reason to, like, it gives you a purpose in your life. You're just chasing and causing problems because you can't just, like, it's like, I don't know. Meanwhile, at the camp, the sheriff has made his way over there, and he's found that, like, all the counselors are dead. Which there weren't very many to begin with, but they're all dead. There's kids there. The kids don't know it. He rounds them up, gets them all into one cabin. He's like, hide under the beds and don't come out. And then he just leaves them in there. It's like, don't you have, like, somebody who could guard the door? Just hide under the bed. Because if Jason gets in here, he's got bad knees. There's no way he's going to, like, crouch down and be like, oh, I see. And if he does, he's like, my arthritis. Because Jason's like 100. No, I don't know how old Jason is by this point. He's probably like 30. But when the sheriff leaves the cabin, he gets out there and immediately runs into Jason. And he has a little standoff with him. But luckily, sheriff has a shotgun, so he shoots him, and Jason falls. And then he gets up, And he shoots him, and he falls, and he gets up. And he shoots him, and he falls and gets up. And he shoots him, he falls and gets up. And he shoots him, and he falls and gets back up. And then the sheriff runs out of bullets, so he pulls out his pistol, and he shoots him. And Jason kind of falls and gets back up. So finally, like, after, I don't know, 8 shots, sheriff's kind of like, definitely not Tommy. I'm getting the fuck out of here. And he makes a run for it. And that's about the same time that Megan and Tommy arrive. Which leads us to the plan. Ta-da-da. Tommy has a chain and a padlock, and he knows that there's big rocks out there. His plan is to wrap a chain around a small boulder that will lead to Jason's neck, which the other part of the chain will be around his neck like a noose, padlock, and then drop that off the boat, and Jason will sink. And then he'll be trapped down there forever. That's the plan. It's not a bad plan, right? But it gets complicated because Megan's kind of flipping out because she's like, my dad. Like, she cares about her dad. This is the point where the whole movie she's been fighting with her dad and trying to get attention and but now that her dad is there and she's there and she knows it's all real because she opened up she went into one of the cabins, was like, saw all the blood. She's like, oh, immediately first thing she thought about was dad. So she wants to go find him, make sure he's alive, make sure whatever. So she's looking for him, she's screaming, she's like, daddy, 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 which doesn't save him. Actually puts his life in more danger. But Jason's like, I hear a girl. I'm going to go check it out. And so Sheriff Daddy is like, you're not going to kill my daughter. And he runs out and he tries to attack him. And for his efforts, gets killed. So in a way, Megan kind of got her dad killed. Sorry, Megan. It's true, though. But back at the camp, all the kids have come out. Like, there's a show to see. They've come out from under the beds. They're looking at what's going on. She has gone back to the camp. And Jason's over there. It would have been a weird scene, like all the kids in one room, if Jason just walked in and been like, all right, I'm just going to slaughter all you fuckers. And he just started killing like 80 kids, 80 fucking 11-year-olds. Like, what am I watching? But Jason's there. Tommy's in the boat, getting everything all set up and everything. And he's like, what the hell? And then he starts yelling because him and Jason kind of have this weird connection. But you think Jason would let the grudge drop? It's like, yeah, you killed me. You did me dirty. But at the same time, you didn't owe me anything. I was going to kill you. I killed your parents. Or I killed your mom. I killed your sister. Then you killed me. And now I'm mad at you for killing me. But you brought me back. So kind of... It's like Jason's... I don't know what Jason's problem is. Jason's kind of an asshole. That's what I think his problem is. It's like, hey, dude. This guy's helped you. You fucked this guy over so many times and he keeps helping you. So Tommy starts saying, hey, Jason, come here. Taunting him, trying to get his attention. But it resonates. Jason's like, oh. Starts walking over. Then it's funny because Tommy keeps going. He's like, come here, you chicken shit. Come here. So Jason goes out there. Tommy gets the chain around his neck. Pushes him off the boat. Lights the lake on fire to a degree. But Jason pulls him off the boat with him. So they're both underwater. And Jason kind of chokes him out. And he's like, you're dead. And Tommy floats up. And then Megan's like, oh my God. She's like, I don't want to lose 2 guys in one day. Because she just lost her dad. And Tommy. She runs over and hops in the water. And starts swimming to the boat. She gets in. Tommy's up there. She's trying to save him. And then, I don't know how deep this lake is. Because Jason has this boulder and a chain. It's not a long chain. And he's, floating. Tommy goes up. So Jason's just kind of well, what do I do now? Because I can't move. But then she gets in the water. She's trying to save Tommy. And Jason's just kind of hey, look, it's somebody's ankle. He just grabs her ankle. And she's, trying to fight him off. She's it's and he's trying to pull her down, but he can't because sometimes Jason's really strong and other times he's kind of a bitch. I don't understand that, but what it is what it is. And so she starts up it turns out it's a motorboat, so she starts cranking it up and starting it up, and somehow his face is there. It's like, why are you guys? You guys are. You're in about maybe 9 feet of water in a boat, and he's like, if you're gonna, like, I think the mob does a better job with just regular jackasses than this guy's elaborate plan with a fucking supernatural force. So the boat, and like, why is Jason's face that close to the that propeller thing that she gets started, and it starts going boom, 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 and it starts up, and you like see all this, like, you don't see like the propeller hit his face, but you see, like, I don't know where water would come out, and you see like guts. At one point it looks like an eyeball came out, and you're like, what the hell was that? And I don't know, it's kind of like, all right, Jason's dead. Jason just got his face all sliced up by this boat propeller thing. And then she takes Tommy to the shore where all the kids are, and she resuscitates him. He's like, yeah. Water shoots out of his mouth. He's like, oh, is he gone? Is it over? Is it over? Is Jason finally home? She's like, yeah. And then the camera like pans back into the water and shows Jason, and like he's just like, he's like that aquarium decoration you can get. I don't know if you can still get those. It's pretty cool, but it looks just like that, where he's just like floating with a chain around his neck. Then his eye opens, but then you're looking at it, it's like, well, what did that propeller hit exactly? Because he looks fine. I swear I saw an eyeball fly. He should not. Granted, one eye. I'm pretty sure only one eye open, but I don't know. It's like, I understand you want to build a sequel, but like his face is fine. Plus he has protective face gear on, and he looks fine. He's just stuck. But anyway, that's the end of the movie. The Gilligan Award goes to Tommy Jarvis for resurrecting Jason and making him more powerful than ever. I'm sorry, but you don't get points for fixing something that you broke. Alright? And that sends us directly into survival tips. Don't dig up corpses. Just don't. If somebody tells you that there's a killer on the loose, maybe take them a little bit seriously. Don't just assume that they're full of shit. Okay? Nobody wants to be like this, oh my god, there is? Like, nobody wants to be gullible, but there could be some truth to it, right? If somebody tells you to hide under a bed, you keep your ass under the bed. You don't just come out because you feel like it. Well, I was there long enough. No, stay under the bed. All right. All right. All right. If you made it this far and you're not already subscribed to this channel, now is your chance. What are you waiting for? I'm going to make more videos. Don't you want to know? All right. If you did make it this far, thank you. Love you guys. See you next time. Next video will probably be October. I'm starting Halloween. I'm doing, I don't know, I'm formatting a little bit different. I'm going to watch the movie, make video. Watch movie, make video. Same day. It's going to be a different treat because I want to try and get through all the Halloween movies this month. Maybe not all of them. Maybe not the, I don't know, whatever. I'm not going to do it anyway. So, until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.